Good evening, this is Bobby with Renaissance Game Supply. So, I am out of town. I don't really live in New Mexico. I'm out of town on assignment for the next 3 weeks. So, normally what I do is I always bring a bunch of cards with me. Stuff you can't see right here. This stuff right here. This is all 4th edition stuff, or 5th edition, sorry. I added these last night and I have a bunch more. This is all 4th edition stuff here, right in here. And then these are all just basically sleeves that I like to create tabs, alphabet letter tabs for. And then I got like a little bunch right here, not really a big deal. Normally, as I'm scanning, if I notice that I've mixed 4th edition, 5th edition, I'll still scan them and then just separate them, keep them in a different pile. Once I get everything all scanned in, I don't submit my list. And what I mean by that is, here, I'm gonna turn this way a little bit. Turn my laptop, so you won't be able to exactly see everything that I'm doing here, but basically, when you submit a list off Quicklist, it'll go to the Manage List tab. Then when I click on it, it'll come down here and it'll show. So the problem with submitting them is that I'll have the cards in Salt Lake City where I'm at working. However, when my wife is selling out of New Mexico, she won't have access to the inventory because I have those cards. So what I like to do is just save the list. So I'll scan them all in with Quicklist and then save the list, and I'll rename the list like 5th edition, and I'll save that file, and I'll do the next one, 4th edition, save the file. So when I get back to New Mexico, what I'll do is I'll pull up that list, and then I add the cards to, submit the cards to inventory, and then I just go through all those lists. So that's one way of being efficient. Plus, it's really nice because when I get back home, I can add literally thousands of cards in minutes because I've already spent the time when I was away, nothing to do. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff to do in Salt Lake City, don't get me wrong, but I would prefer to just keep working on my store, save money, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, what I want to do is I want to show you, I'm going to turn the camera again, sorry. I want to show you a quick screenshot of what I'm talking about when I'm saving my list. Angle the camera down here a little bit. And screw you, memory issue. Boom. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to File, Open. And what I'm looking for is a 5th edition list, like I was talking about. I'm gonna pull that up. And see? Boom, it populates everything I've done last night. It's kind of a neat little trick. Boom, 100%, 372 cards. Now a lot of these cards were in like a damaged condition, had some dirt, debris, scratches, scuffs, bent corners, whatever, just from, they were played. And they should be in damaged condition because they have been played. So a lot of times it didn't come up with like a market value. So normally something like that, when I import it, I will go ahead and give it like a 3-cent value, 4 cents, just depending on based what a current market condition damaged card is. And when I submit that, it kind of shows me, what the lowest damage is, and I just kind of match that. It's usually 3-4 cents, if that, maybe 1 cent. But anyway, so that's 372 cards right here. I scanned last night. So that's gonna be a quick shot in the arm here once I get home. When I left, my inventory was 131,500 cards, and right now, without uploading anything, I can see that my live inventory is 129,907. So my wife has sold nearly 600 cards since I've been gone. I left on Monday and it is Thursday. So 600 cards in 4 days is not really that bad. I typically sell about 1,000 a week, maybe a little more. So I really have to keep up with the constant inventory submissions. The other cool thing is, going through all these white border cards, I did not realize that there'd still be so many copies of banned cards. And what I mean by banned is, I mean banned as in their artwork or the naming convention that was assigned to them, because it could be found offensive. So what I want to start out with is showing you, this is the one last night I tried to scan. Crusade. And basically it's for 2 white. Crusade is an enchantment. All white creatures get +1/+1. And then I had an older version from Mark Poole. This one's really cool. And again, all white creatures get +1/+1. Now I have a signed copy of this from Mark Poole. I did not realize that these cards were banned. So I'm gonna look them up. And then we got Pradesh Gypsies, which I knew this one was because I couldn't find that card previously. So now I think I have like 9, 10, or 12 of the Pradesh Gypsies. I have at least 3 of these that I know of now. Now, I was also looking on eBay, completed, sold, most recent listings. This one here seems to be the least. I think it was like $4 to $6 for a single copy of that. This, however, is a different story. And this one here is the 4th edition. So it's 1995 copyright date. That, I found 3 of those copies would sell for about $35.99. That's pretty good for just a banned card. It probably would be worth jack shit if it wasn't banned. Anyway, I am going to, when I get home, dig through a bunch of my back stock, because I still have all kinds of stuff I have not listed yet, and I'm gonna see if I can find some more. There was a bunch of other banned cards too, which maybe I'll do a video on sometime down the road, maybe when I get back home, because I have a whole bunch of these banned cards. Earthbind, I think it was another one that they kind of removed from the catalog. However, when I'm looking up the banned card lists based on the artwork and such and the naming convention, I didn't really see Earthbind on there. But I remember a TCG player, I sent a support ticket in one time saying, hey, I can't find Earthbind in your catalog, you know, what's going on? Is it just not scanning properly? And they actually sent me the reference material to go to Wizard's site and look at the cards that were on that list, and Earthbind was on that list, but it's not on the ones I've been finding online last night. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's something I'm gonna look up and probably do a video on, because it's pretty interesting. There were some that I'm just like, really? I mean, that one just seems kind of like, I don't know, like a reach to kind of get rid of it. But then there's some that's like, wow, that is plainly obvious. I get that one. But like the Crusade, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a buff to all white creatures, but I mean, there's stuff out there that gives buff to blue creatures, black creatures, green creatures. I mean, I don't get it, but okay. It is what it is. It's not my game, but yeah. So anyway, I like to collect stuff like that just because it's kind of odd and it's banned, it's restricted, it's just what it is. It kind of, to me, gives it some collectability to it. But anyway, so that's what I do every time I'm out of town. So if you see that I'm not making videos and posting stuff, it's usually because I'm just busy doing stuff. A lot of times I forget to just turn the camera on and show what I'm doing. So I'm gonna step away from the camera for a minute, and I'm gonna show you a couple more little boxes of what I'm working on. And I should have all this done before I make it back home. And also, when I'm up here, anytime I have cash, if I'm flush with cash from store sales or per diem, if I can use that to go out and buy collections when I'm in the area, I do that too. So this weekend, I'm probably gonna be on the hunt on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, looking for some stuff. So hold on, let me grab these boxes and I'll be right back. All right. Oh, that was a little easier to do than just hitting the edit button. So what I have are, I think these are either Chronicles or Antiquities. They got different copyright dates, and the centering of the dates and all that kind of stuff's a little off. So I will be going through, they got like old set symbols, and I know that these are black border set symbols, so I know that these are either Chronicles or Anthologies because those are white, and yeah, it just throws me off. But anyway, I gotta still sort out those a little bit. And then I got a bunch of stuff from Starter, and these do pretty well as well. I don't know if people just appreciate having the older art, or they just like some of these little obscure little sets. So I'll get those uploaded, and then I have Classic 6th edition, and I got a bunch of those, and I can't wait to get those scanned in because I really don't have a bunch in my inventory at home. And I'm gonna show you a little quick thick chunk here. Sorry if it appears that I'm not really kind of prepared. I just wasn't expecting to kind of go this deep, but as you can see, there's a good chunk of little white edged cards. So these are cards that look like somebody's probably cracked them, trying to get good cards out of it, and then turn around through in the box. Those are not very well played. So those are probably lightly to moderate played. I would just have to look at the face, the back, the sides, make sure there's no card chipping. These here are definitely played cards, sometimes heavily or in damaged condition. So I'll go through and I'll grade every one of these. But here's 7th edition. This card always sells. It's kind of cool. It's the one I picked. Sleight of hand always sells, and I got quite a few of them. I got quite a few of these. So here's the chunk of 7th. As you can see, there's some unplayed in there, and then there's some heavily played, if not damaged stuff right there, kind of towards the bottom third of that stack. Of course, your 8th edition, which still a very popular set that people like. And there's some right there too that looks like pretty nice, and a little bit right there, and just a couple up in there. So it's a good mix. But you can see where some is damaged along the side, like that one right there, big old chunk. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Anyway, so that's 8th edition, and again, these cards, for being a white border card, they do pretty well. But I tell you what does really well that I've noticed, and I've been doing this since 2014, selling on TCG Player, and basically working out of the store that I used to own, because I used to own a store in the Colony, Texas, by the name of Insane Comics. And when I sold the store, got out of there, moved to Colorado, to Denver, Colorado that is, I took my online inventory with me and kept my TCG Player store open, and then just kind of grew from there. But the cool thing is when you get lands like this that are foiled, because they're black border from that set, that stuff sells incredibly fast. So I always love these uncommon lands from this set. And then anything foiled I can get from 8th or 9th edition, I absolutely love that. They went black border when they foiled that. To me, it's just so cool. And I watch MTG stocks every now and then, and man, I'm telling you, those cards from that set that are foil, they just will go from like 30 cents, 40 cents, 10 cents, like $1, and just skyrocket overnight. And I love that. I love that I hold stuff like that, because a lot of times I won't sell that until it goes up, and it usually does. And I'll hold sometimes for 10 years. I don't sell cards quickly. And as you can see, here's a bunch more of kind of nice condition stuff that looks like it's barely been opened, and then you got a couple little lines there of some heavily played, possibly damaged stuff. I mean, it's fine. But yeah, these are just super nice for what they are. I mean, this is 9th edition, so this would have come out in what, probably 2005 is what the copyright date looks. I mean, they're not valuable by any means, but they're just in such nice condition. Just white, and then you got maybe 1 or 2 in there that isn't. It's kind of throwing that off. But Angel of Mercy, these are uncommons that they sell. It's not that great of a card. The Tree Monkey I see sells. Reclaim sells. Sleight of Hand. There's another one, Sift, Stormcrow, I see that move. And then the other cool thing is about these particular sets is people will still, or not, shouldn't say people, players still enjoy these lands. They buy these lands, and these things, they move very, very well for me. And unfortunately, in this particular collection that I've picked up, they only had that many mountains. They didn't have forest, island, swamp, plains, nothing else like that. Just mountains. There's like maybe 6 here. So that's the interesting thing that I've noticed about buying collections is it's hit or miss. And what I mean by that is when I buy a collection from somebody, I don't always get like complete sets of anything, to be honest with you. I'll get you know, like 9th edition, like this box right here. This all came from one customer or one seller. I'll get that many 9th edition, and then I'll get like twice that many of 8th edition, and then I'll get twice that many of like 7th or 6th edition, or sometimes revised. And then sometimes I'll get nothing of anything else, like no other sets, no other white border stuff. And here's the other thing, I've got this many more revised. Now, that's a lot of revised, and I already have almost 2,000 revised cards as it is in stock. I'm going to show you a couple cards from revised that do very, very well for single sales. This is one of them, and I don't know if it's just because people would prefer the artwork of it, but it's been reprinted probably 1 billion times. But this card in revised printing, or any other printing, beta and or unlimited, if I can get those, this card just moves. People love it. And another one that sells, and I always like this one. This one's kind of a cute card. Wild Growth. I love it. And I've got so many of these in this. Stream of Life. Every now and then this card sells. And the target player gains X life for 1 green and X. And it's Mark Poole. Oh, I absolutely love Mark Poole artwork. Absolutely love his work. Probably my favorite MTG artist. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of wonderful MTG artists out there. I don't know, it's just something about his stuff. And then Desert Twister. I mean, some of these are just classic stuff. The Fogs always sell for me. Giant Growth, if people buy them, sometimes this guy is a pretty popular pickup. So when I get collections, I just love it when it's just packed with just heavy duplicates of these just cheaper little cards, but just older, revised 4th edition, 5th edition stuff, because they sell very well. It's just constant sales. Wall of Wood does pretty good too if you have Defender decks. And there's another Llanowar Wells, Channel, Life Force, another Wild Growth. The Tree Folk cards, these guys here. Some people do build Tree Folk decks, so those go pretty well. The Control Magics, they do pretty well too. Can't remember the last time I sold any, because again, I don't pull the orders anymore. Every now and then if I see like a big order come in, I'm like, oh wow, that's fascinating. Like, I'll dive in and kind of just quickly thumb through what they're buying, not because I'm nosy, but just because I like to know what people are buying, so I can have a better knowledge base, I guess, to go out and purchase and replace and replenish cards. But clones, those do pretty well for me as well. Sleight of Mind. Man, these are just some cool cards to see. I'm really envious of some players who got to play back then. And this would have come out when I was a sophomore, junior in high school, and for some reason I was never made aware of this at the time I was in high school, I was collecting comics and kind of into stuff like that anyway at the time. But yeah, I just never got into Magic. I was collecting sports cards and stuff like that too. But that's pretty much my background there. But these disenchants, wish we get tired. Disenchants and the circle of protections, these do pretty well too. I'm always just moving revised stuff, so that's why I'm always looking for it. I don't pay a lot for it, but just like anybody else, when they're buying bulk, what is it, $5 for every 1,000 or something. Sometimes I'll pay $10 for every 1,000 if there's like a really nice collection and they've already organized it alphabetically or by color or something, and I can see some effort's been put into it. I'll sometimes pay a little extra just because I know it saves me time. So that extra few bucks, nothing to me. I mean, that's here, you know, thanks for putting this thing in order for me and saving me a bunch of time. So here's something else I wanted to show you. I want to talk about some print quality as well. Sorry, this video is just kind of all over the place here. I could talk for days about this game and these cards. So look how bad the border is on this shatter. I mean, that's pretty thick. And what I like to do is I like cards that show the bits and the chunks of other cards on the printing sheet. So this border's off pretty good. This is something I probably wouldn't keep, but there are people out there who like this. But my favorites are where you can see a little bit of the card over here, or a little bit of the other card here, or maybe the card that was down below it. But sometimes I'll see it too where it'll be way off center on the face of it, but then the back is nice. But this particular one here, the back is not nice either. Oops, sorry. So it's way off. So I'll probably end up pulling that one to the side and probably reach out to the folks on the Facebook kind of misprints and kind of stuff, the website or the group and whatnot, see if they're interested in those. But I've got some cards too that I've pulled. It's either 1 or 2 cards where I was opening up a pack on camera and pulled a blank. It's just a pure white card. It's pretty cool to see, and I don't even think it doesn't have a rarity, no set symbol, nothing. So I'm gonna have to do some research on my TikTok channel, figure out which video it was where I popped that, and maybe upload that here to YouTube. And I'll probably put that one out there as well, because somebody was telling me sometimes those are worth like $25 and up, depending on the set and the blank that you would have pulled, and like if it came from a common or an uncommon slot or something like that. But anyway, I'm going to start putting some of this back together. It looks like I found some more 4th edition stuff. I'm just kind of quickly scanning it for any banned cards that might be in it, but it doesn't look like I see any in this. Morale, that's kind of cool. Here's another Mark Poole card that I really like. It's called Morale. Kind of reminds me of the artwork of the Crusade. But yeah, I'm not seeing any more in this. But I'll check thoroughly when I get back home, and also as I'm scanning in cards anyway. And that's one thing I do when I'm scanning in cards, is I actually look at every single card, because you just never know what you have until you just kind of study it, read it, hold it, and that's how I find a lot of my banned cards, how I find a lot of like just, wow, I didn't even know this was a card, this ability is really good. And I'll hold on to it, and then a few years later the thing is like, oh my god, that card's really good. For example, Cryptolith, right? Was another card I used to have. I pulled it in a pre-release. I think they're in Shadows over Innistrad. I don't even think it was a bulk rare, maybe a buck, if that, at the time. And now I think it's sitting somewhere around 32 bucks or something like that. But anyway, that's how long I'll hold a card. So before I get too far into this video here. This one here, this came from the same collection as well. So when I bought that collection, it was 44,000 cards. It was probably actually closer to 50,000 because, I mean, this was August I bought it, and here it is now, February of 2024, and I'm still processing that order. That's how much there is. But these are all the foils. So these are bulk foils from that guy's collection. That was all the bulk white order. And then we had bulk rares, which I've already put up. And I usually start with the rares by just uploading all the bulk commander cards, all the bulk master sets, dual deck sets, just that kind of oddity stuff. And then I get back to getting up all my bulk foils and whatnot. So here, I mean, as you can see, look at how old that is. That's what, Guild Pack? And here's some newer stuff. There's some cons. There's more cons. M15. Leafkin Druid from M20. So these sets, these cards are from all over the place. This sells pretty well for me already. Lone Dryad sells. Llanowar Visionary. These cards, they're pretty popular. Larger Than Life, I've seen that sell. Living Lore from, what is it, Ultimate Masters. Oops, foiled. But these are really pretty, especially stuff like that. I mean, blue, I don't know, blue and foil is just, it's really, it's like eye candy. I love it. Lookout Dispersal, I mean, this is really sick looking. That's, I don't know, love it. There's another Living Lore. So what I will do with this is I will process all of this by using an Ultra Pro little card organizer, sort of little tray thing. And what I normally do is I'll just start off by just separating everything by alphabetical order, and then I sort it all by color, and then I'll sort it by set, just so that I can sit there and hopefully spend less time trying to organize it when I'm all done, because I'm doing it ahead of time, and it gives me the ability to kind of look to see if I have duplicates. Because when I'm scanning it and putting it in Quicklist, I'll scan it, and if I have 8 copies, I can just hit the number 8, and the system will automatically load 8 copies of it on there for me, instead of having to scan it 8 separate times. So it makes things a little more efficient. So yeah, these are, looks like they're somewhat organized alphabetically already. But yeah, that's what I usually will work on in the evening. Just get everything all nice and organized. Just basically make it so that it's very quick to scan in. Now the trick is these tokens, when they're double-sided, like that guy, and they're foil, kind of a pain in the ass to scan in. So normally I'll roll through each letter, and anything with tokens I just set to the side, because in Quicklist you can hit the little add button and you can start typing it in like mirror, and it gives you like, you know, a long list of the different mirror type tokens, and you can kind of scroll down through, look for the set. So this one here would be Double Masters, so I'll find a Double Masters double-sided token that's foil, that says it's a wolf or a mirror, and that's the one you're looking for, and I just tell them how many copies I have. That's way easier than trying to scan it, because it has similar artwork. It'll pull up different sets and loses its mind, and it's like, sometimes it'll take forever trying to find the correct version. So that's just an efficient way to get it in there. So let's see, there's just, I love the fairy rogues and stuff like that too. So as you can see, this is just an idea of the different types of sets that are in here. Like these foil naturalized from M14, those will sell, they always do. Hour of Devastation, so this is Defeat, that that'll probably move too. The mongoose, I can't remember the last time I sold one of those. But you know, people just buy stuff out of complete randomness sometimes too. And there you go with Battle Bond. Battle Bond and Jumpstart usually does pretty well for me too. Noxious Dragon. Minotaurs do decently for sales. Dragons. Dinosaurs usually do too, so that one's kind of a cool one. Little foil guy. Cute little guy. Let's see. Omen Speaker. I do move a few of those from time to time, but usually if something's foiled out, it almost always moves faster than the non-foil version. And something else that does really well for me, at least, are these showcase ones here. These do pretty well. I love these. I think that's showcase, maybe not, but God, they do so many different types of printings of cards anymore, it's hard to even keep up. But if you like cats, I always get foil cat stuff, dinosaurs, just dragons, and you name it, it's in here. So, but that's what I do. I'm always working on the store in some form of fashion, whether I'm picking up collections, whether I'm listing cards, whether I'm organizing, whether I'm helping my wife pull orders, which that's her favorite function. She loves doing that. So I tend to let her do her thing and then just step out of the way, and I will organize, grade, sort, and scan and put everything up online, because that's my favorite part. I like being ahead of it to where I'm reading every card, looking at every card, analyzing if it's a banned card, a restricted card, or if it's a, I hate to use the word rare because that's what they use, but if it's a, I'm trying to think of a better word than rare, if it's, I don't know, just if it's something I have a very low product number of. So basically, if I only have 2 or 3 copies of it, I'm looking for stuff like that too, I guess, because I like to replenish my store with just numerous copies of every type of card I can get, because I sell everything from lands, tokens, commons, uncommons, rares, mythics, all the showcase stuff, alternate textured foil stuff. I mean, you name it, even the thick stock commander display cards. I mean, I sell all of that. So probably gonna go ahead and cut this video short here. I think I've said enough for the night, but I appreciate you watching the video, and for those of you that stayed through and listened to everything, hopefully it wasn't like too much useless knowledge, but I'm gonna start doing some more videos, I promise, showing the process of how I acquire a collection, process it by sorting it, and basically getting it ready to efficiently add it to Quicklist and then upload it and submit it to the store to become inventory for the store. I think I should do a good solid video on that someday, just kind of showing you like maybe 10-15 cards, just to show you how quick the process can be if you organize it and sort it first. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Hopefully I'll create some content that all of you will find useful. I appreciate the support.